Quick tutorial on how to create a gradient background for your front covers in your magazine design. So the first things first, obviously it goes without saying at this stage you will have or should have already cropped your front cover images to fit your desired composition and framing, and you would have already removed your background. Another thing you would likely have done would have been to get rid of some blemishes, maybe sharpen the image, play around with the colour and brightness and contrast. So what I'm going to focus on right now is how we can create a nice new background for this image, because I'm not keen on the original grey, silvery grey background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the layers and I'm going to add an adjustment layer, a solid colour. Pre-selecting blue, so I'm going to change that and I'm just going to make it a plain white background. Notice that obviously my actual original image has disappeared, but that's because this layer is now preceding the main image layer. So if I were to pull this underneath, we can now see through there. Now, whilst the white cover does actually look quite appealing for that image, and it would be quite a nice front cover as is, I am going to change the colour just for the purpose of showing you how you can make a nice new background colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on my colour fill, and this is going to open up a layer style window. I'm just going to move the image slightly so we can see. And as you can see, we're then going to go down to gradient overlay. This has automatically added a gradient from blue to purple on there in a linear form, which is essentially a lined gradient. We have a radial gradient, which is more circular, an angle, reflected, and a diamond. I think for the purpose of design, in particular print design, the radial or the linear works much better for the purpose of a magazine cover. So you can play around with the angle slightly, as you can see around here. So they are quite dark colours at the moment, so you can't see, but there the gradient is more or less vertical. Left is blue, right is purple. As I do it around here, we can see it's now more of an angle. We can change the scale in terms of where it goes from blue to purple, which you can see shifting there. But the thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to play around with the colour to choose the colours that fit your house style and your branding. So first I'm going to click on the gradient colour here, and this will open up a gradient editor. Now these are the colours that are already in the gradient as a default for my Photoshop. Yours may be different. I'm going to click on the first, I'm going to double click on the first colour stop, and that will open up my colour picker. I'm going to go a little bit lighter. I think it's a bit too dark at the moment. So now I've got a nice blue here that we can see. Click OK, and then I'm going to go to the second colour stop. Double click on that. I'm going to go for a slightly lighter purple as well. Click OK. So now I've got more of a gradient. I can now play around with the scale of that, make the purple come through a bit nicer, and change the angle. And we can play around with that until we're satisfied, and click OK. So now I've got a new background image. If I turn off that layer, and now we can see it in more clear detail. Now what I would like you to do at this stage is actually delete the original layer from the photo and then save this as a new Photoshop document. Call it gradient background, or just background if you're going for a plain one, and then save that. What you can then do is open that up in InDesign, add your transparent background of your main cover image, and then you've got two separate layers where we can place our text in between for our masthead, adding that nice contemporary look to the design. Okay, so that's how you add a background gradient.